Hey everybody, it's the Combatcast, and we are going to preview UFC 301, episode 149. Look at us go. Guys, we got a sponsor now. Chevy, tell them about it.
That's right. We are brought to you by Game Up Hard Hydration. They make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. You know those 4 flavors by now: fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape.
That's right. Full flavor, 110 calories, low carb. So don't have to worry about any of those extra pounds. Enjoy us because we got stuff today and stuff coming up. What's coming up?
Yeah, May 11th, UFC Fight Night. Lewis versus Nascimento. Black Beast is back. Always fun. May 18th, UFC Fight Night. Barbosa versus Murphy. Striker's Delight on that one. And then there are no fights on the 25th. So we'll come up with something for you guys. Put something together.
All right. So there was a fight night this past weekend, and me and Chevy, neither one of us watched it. So
I tried, but the ESPN app didn't want to work properly for me. So
what I will say is the co-main event. Help me out with this guy's name. Bogdan
Guskov.
TKO'd Ryan Spann at light heavyweight. That's a good victory, though. You know,
he's been KOing everyone. That's his whole thing. Yeah. So
this might be a guy to watch out for at light heavyweight right now. Alex Pereira, though. It's like
tough ask.
Yeah, you don't know what this guy's gonna do, and it's like you keep thinking, like, well, he's not that experienced. Someone's gonna probably catch him, and that does not happen right now.
Or good luck with Yuri too. That's another tough ask, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of Alex Perez won in the main event, flyweight, KO punch over Matthias.
Yeah, Matthias Nicolau. Yeah, round 2.
So
I did call that one. He was an underdog. So Thank you very much with my awesome guess.
I think flyweight's a pretty open division right now, as we'll talk about later today. So we'll see. Maybe you guys string a couple victories together before you know it. You could be in title contention if you can do that. But it's those top fighters at flyweight, that top 3. You know,
they definitely are like a level above the rest. It seems like. Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out this weekend for sure.
We'll find out, yeah, because there is an interesting story there that, like I said, we'll talk about as the show goes on. Other news this week before we get into the UFC 301 pay-per-view, Mike Perry, look at this picture Joe got for us, spitting out the blood and everything. This guy is an animal, as they say. This guy's a beast. And, man, Thiago Alvarez, like we talked about it, Joe. We thought, okay, this is going to be a good brawl. Nope. Perry goes right through him. Thiago says, I'm going right back to retirement after this. And, man, I don't know. Perry is kind of – we talked about this a little before, but he's the star of this now, right?
Yeah, well, I think he's 5-0 now since leaving the UFC, went to BKFC, or he did one, like, boxing for Triller or something like that. And bare knuckle boxing he's tailor-made for it, obviously. He's just so tough, just so much tougher than all these guys. And Thiago Alves, super tough guy, but got caught with that left hook, immediately went down, couldn't clear the cobwebs, and the ref stopped the fight.
And like he's also, I mean, he's got victories before this over Eddie Alvarez and Luke Rockhold. So, you know, we're talking about guys, and especially Rockhold, that you would think just because of the size.
He broke his teeth.
Yeah, he broke his teeth. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And you know, Alvarez, obviously a legend. Eddie Alvarez brought it, you know, but at the end of the day, Perry's was just too durable. You know, he's such an animal in this type of field. I guess, you know, I wanted to combine this a little bit with the other news. Conor McGregor is now part owner of the BKFC. And what do you think the odds are before Conor McGregor's career is done that he gets into a bare knuckle fight?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Depends how wild he gets after his UFC career is done and dusted. But I don't know. I guess he would be good at it based on his striking style and everything. he's pretty tough, so I bet he could take it. But you got to really want to be in there, and he is all set on life. So they would never be able to pay him enough money, really, to get him in there without him just wanting to be in there.
If he did it, I'd have to think it would be to boost the company himself.
Right.
And to put more responsibility. Now that he's part owner, like, hey, there's a stake in it. I guess that's what made me interested about it. And like, what a fucking opportunity that would be for somebody like a Mike Perry to do a bare knuckle fight with like Conor McGregor.
Or he could get Paulie Malignaggi out of the commentator seat. And I mean, they have some heat, and Paulie was in there against Artem. So,
and I think you've gone on record before. I just want to hear it again, see if anything changes. Boxing match. If Mike Perry fought Jake Paul,
I mean, I think I have to pick Mike Perry. He's just so crazy. But right. I mean, Jake Paul's got lots of power. He could put Perry out, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting fight. We'll see what happens. And something else we didn't really plan on talking about today, but I guess it is being said now that this is going to be an official boxing match between Tyson and Paul. So this will go on somebody's record here. So interesting.
Makes me think that maybe I lean towards it not being like a sideshow like the Roy Jones fight was for Tyson. Maybe they're going to take it a little bit more serious if it's going to go on a record or whatever. Yeah. But we won't know until they get in there, honestly. So.
Yeah, and it makes me the owner of Jake Paul saw something, and he's just like, oh, this is not going to be a problem. Let's get, who knows? But you know what we do know? UFC 301 this weekend in Brazil. So we're going to have a lot of Brazilians on this card. And looks like a good card, honestly. It's not heavy name value, and it's a bit of a letdown when you look at UFC 300 in terms of name, what we have coming up. But this should be a solid card.
We're going to go through the whole card, or do you want me to name off the interesting fights on the undercard?
Yeah, for the undercard, I have the main card ready, but undercard just.
Well, the prelims, you got to be a hardcore to really enjoy them. I mean, you got Jack Shore was on there, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, but let's get to the main card. Okay. Do you have records for the whole main card?
I do.
You do? Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Paul Craig versus Caio. That's not how it's pronounced. Borralha.
All right. Borralha is 15-1-1, 4 KOs, 4 subs, 7 decisions. Paul Craig 17-7-1. Performance of the night 8 times. This guy. He's a guy that loves his submissions, and going in Brazil, where you think he's going to go up there. I don't know. I have this feeling that Paul, I think he's so good at jiu-jitsu, and if that's where this is going to go, I just got to go with Paul Craig here. Round 2.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea to put him on this card because if anyone's going to respect his skills on the ground, it's going to be the Brazilians for sure.
Yeah.
But I do think that Borralha has enough intelligence on the ground and ability on the ground to nullify some of those things. And if he gets taken down, to get up before Paul jumps on his neck or puts him in a triangle or something. And on the feet, he should destroy Paul Craig. Paul Craig, not afraid to throw a lot of kicks and all that, but he gets hit, and you don't want to get hit by Borralha. So I'm going to pick, I'm going to say Paul Craig gets TKO'd. I'll say round 2.
Okay.
I hope not, though. I am a Paul Craig fan.
Let's see what we got. Next fight.
All right, move on to, if this isn't fight of the night, I'll be shocked. But Michel Perreira and Ihor Poteiria.
All right, Ihor Poteiria is 20-5, 9 KOs, 6 subs, 5 decisions, 2-3 in the UFC. All right, and Perreira, he's 30-11. And 2, I forgot to write down his submissions and KOs. But this guy's got performance of the night 4 times. And what you should know is he is reckless. He is absolutely reckless. He is crazy. He will do rolling thunders. He will do cartwheels, capoeira kicks. He's absolutely insane. And for that reason, I'll pick him. I'll say he pulls off a Hail Mary somehow here, and he'll get a second round finish.
Yeah, he's actually looked really good since going up to middleweight. I think he had a really hard time making welterweight. And his stamina is much better at middleweight. So I'm also going to pick him, but he does need to mind his P's and Q's because he can get knocked out for sure by Ihor. But I'll pick Pereira. I'll say round 1 KO. I think they just go in there and go to war.
All right, Randy, thank you for the compliment. And as far as that PFL show in June, don't know yet. We're a little bit away from that, but if we can score some tickets.
I got to look into that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, moving on with this review.
All right, Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino.
All right, Vitor is 11-0, so undefeated, 7 KOs, 1 sub, and 3 decision. But you're talking about a guy with Anthony Smith here with a ton of experience, right? 37-19, 20 KOs, 14 subs, 3 decisions. That's a lot of experience. I think that's just too big of a gap right now. We'll see. But I'm going to go Anthony Smith. And I'm sticking with his round 2 finishes, round 2 TKO. You heard it.
No, I think, unfortunately, Anthony Smith, when he does get touched these days, he gets rocked pretty hard. Vitor is an absolute monster. So I think he finishes him. I'll say round 2 KO for Vitor.
All right.
Let's move on to the co-main event. Probably the fight I'm the most excited about overall. Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo making his return.
All right. Martinez is 19-4, 9 KOs, 2 subs, 8 decisions, 3 performances of the night. And Aldo, guy's a legend. All right. This guy is 31-8, 17 KOs, 1 sub, 13 decisions. Former UFC featherweight champion, former WEC featherweight champion because he was the champ there for a while too. I believe he has most title defenses too, but interim UFC featherweight champion. Most successful title defenses in UFC featherweight history was 7. So, arguably the featherweight GOAT. Obviously, you could say Volk or Max at this point, because what they did, but Holloway's on that Rushmore. This is bantamweight fight though. Aldo's took some time off. He is a Hall of Famer too. Listen, credentials. Maybe I just have a soft spot for the older guys. I think Martinez is a real threat here, but I'm going to go with Aldo. I'm going to go Aldo by decision.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for Aldo's first fight in 2 years, but he did look very good he had like 3-fight winning streak before fighting Merab, which that fight was pretty close, that he retired after losing. Martinez put together 6 in a row, beating Yanez and Cub Swanson. He had 2 leg kick TKOs in there, which we know Aldo loves leg kicks as well. So I just don't think we know what kind of Aldo we're going to get after this time off. So I'm leaning towards Martinez. I think he uses his range and his speed very well. And he's going to make it tough for Jose. So I'm going to say I'll pick Martinez by TKO in round 3. I hope I'm wrong. I like Martinez, but can't go against Aldo. All right, main card. Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg for the flyweight belt.
All right, Pantoja, he's the champion. He's 27-5, 8 KOs, 10 subs, 9 decisions, and fight of the night twice, performance of the night 3 times. And he's a guy that was always one of the top flyweights, but he's really just gotten better and better now. And, he looked better against Brendan Moreno when he won the title. And it doesn't look like anybody's going to be really able to touch this guy right now. But it's an interesting fight because Steve is 12-1, TKO, 2 KO, 6 subs, 4 decisions, performance of the night twice. But what's most interesting is the guy's only been in the UFC for 9 months. Right, this is like his 3rd. He's had 3 fights already.
3 fights, yep.
Yeah, 4
this
fights.
4.
On 8 days notice, and what an opportunity, right? They're saying in the UFC countdown show, like Pantoja was saying, it's almost like a Rocky Balboa, And he had the funny line there. Erceg said, "Well, Apollo Creed did lose there. Someone should tell him, And it's a great opportunity. And if you watch that countdown special." you really do like this guy. Like Steve Erceg seems like a really nice guy. He got into MMA because he liked pro wrestling and he saw Brock Lesnar get tapped out by Frank Mir, and he was like, "What the hell is this? That this guy can just do this?" And so it interested him, and I'm really into seeing if he can pull this off. But I can't go against Pantoja. There's nothing here that Steve Erceg has done that says to me that he's going to be able to beat Pantoja. So, yeah, I got to go Pantoja, third round submission.
Yeah, Pantoja has been dominant, but like we were saying before, flyweight is pretty light on names, and that is why Erceg's getting a title shot. We talked about this in our group chat, I believe, but he made his UFC debut 1 month after Bilal Muhammad, his last UFC fight, and he still got a title shot before Bilal. So that's wild, but I just means I haven't seen enough from Erceg to make a confident pick. So I guess I'm with you. I'm going to pick Pantoja, but I think it goes to decision because I do think Erceg has a lot of skills.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Real quick before we get a feature, Jess, how you doing? Appreciate you dropping by and saying hi. Yeah, this is our live MMA show that we do as well. And actually, we're wrapping up. So, Chevy, why don't you tell people what we got coming up one more time?
All right, May 11th, UFC Fight Night, Black Beast versus Nascimento. And then we're back to the Apex, May 18th, UFC Fight Night, Barbosa versus Murphy. And then there's no fights on the 25th, but we're going to come up with something for you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And one more word from our sponsor. We'll see you next week.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com.